What's up guys, this is Woolf from Scratch and welcome back to another Civilization 5 guide. Last time I did the German civilization led by Otto von Bismarck. Really, I would call them a hyper-aggressive civilization, being modified since Gods and Kings, of course. Gods and Kings and Vanilla, they had the Landsknecht instead of the unique building, the Hesse, which was of course replaced in the Brave New World, which was a nice little rewards you for trading with city-states. And of course there's the Panzer, so check that guide out last week if you want to check out that very aggressive civilization. So I told you who I was going to do last week. I'm going to help out a special friend, although I shouldn't say it like that. Anyway, we're doing the English Civ, led by Elizabeth I.
It's an ancient land, set apart in the fabric of the people. Although England is a small navy, brilliant artists and shrewd merchants giving them power and influence far in excess of their mere numbers. Queen Elizabeth, will you bring about a new golden age for the English people? They look to you once more to return peace and prosperity to the nation. Will you take up the mantle of greatness? Can you build a civilization that will stand the test of time?
Lovely. So, England's special ability is of course the sun never sets, which is a reference to the expanse of the Great British Empire, with holdings in the southern hemisphere, and of course the homeland in the northern hemisphere, so the sun would never set. So of course special ability includes that they get 2 movement for all naval units, and they also get an extra spy. Now, you can already see it's establishing the sort of naval path that England is definitely going to go down. The extra spy, which was added since Gods and Kings, is quite nice, and it fits into their special domineering strategy, which is an overlay in England, and is the direct path you should be taking, which I will explore later in this guide. But first, let's move on to the first of their unique units. More or less, we'll call it the Garrison Army, and I'll explain why. We'll move on to the Longbowmen. So, let's get to it. So also, I might add here and now that England has a start bias to the coast, which happens most of the time. It's not a great start bias, and it's probably the ones that I wish were fixed, so that 100% England would get a 100% start bias on the coast, but it doesn't happen. And I will add that even though they are a maritime civilization, and I'll use that term, which doesn't mean anything, it just means they've got a naval focus, game isn't over. It just means that your capital, which is generally your highest producing city, will not be on the coast. It means you can't get those naval buildings and units out fast enough. But as I said, let's definitely get to the unique unit, the Longbowmen.
The press is the best instrument for enlightening the mind of man and improving him as a rational, moral, and social being.
It's a nice quote from Thomas Jefferson there. So upon researching machinery, you'll unlock the English unique unit, the Longbowman. The Longbowman replaces the crossbowman, and where it is different is not only as the one additional range, as you can see, which is really the huge part about this unit. It is the hype about this unit, and this makes it almost in how you use it totally different from the range unit, the crossbowman. The Longbowman has the same strength as the crossbowman, however it is less of a 2-tile shooting ranged unit such as a archer, composite bowman, and then of course the crossbowman, but more like a siege unit, and more specifically like artillery, which is of course unlocked at dynamite, which is found in the industrial era. So this gives English a great advantage in sieging, and this is where the additional spy comes in really handy here. If I am to put my spy in Carthage, for example, and as you know, units can only see 2 hexes in front. So, theoretically, if I had to put my Longbowman here, just right next to the ship, I had to put it right here in this little grassland grid right there. Then, of course, you can only see up to here, where the forest is just outside Carthage. Now, assuming that this forest is not here, A, you'll not be able to see to Carthage, and a regular crossbowman would A, and B, not be able to fire. However, if you put your spy or any other unit, a spotter unit, for example, like a scout or anything that will soak up damage and give the visibility for you, that Longbowman will be able to fire at Carthage and essentially take up the role of being a medieval howitzer or medieval artillery. And that is what makes this unit extremely powerful. Its strength being the same as a crossbowman means that in the early medieval period it will be powerful. It's an absolute force to be reckoned with. But as you get into the late Renaissance, the less trained crossbowmen, the ones that have not been your veterans, less trained longbowmen, the ones that haven't been your veterans, but ones that have not been well trained, will be ineffective against cities, as that is what you'll be using these for in land combat, and will really not do a lot of damage. And the real usage for them will be getting to retaining that promotion when you upgrade them to a Gatling gun, because then you get the added range of that Gatling gun, which makes it really quite nice, as well as having the logistics promotion, which means it can fire twice in a single turn, which makes it even more powerful of a unit. So there's the Longbowman, a 3-tile medieval moving man-powered artillery piece. That's Longbowman. We'll get back to that in the summary. Let's now move on to the final unique unit for England, the Ship of the Line. Right, so here we are, just settled the fresh new city of Nottingham. And as you can see, I'm having a bit of barbarian problems here. I could go into my spearmen, but why not? Too many casualties. Could wear it down the city, but that would be... Well, why do the boring way when I have Longbowmen? And look at them, they're so fancy as well. So as you can see, if I go range attack, it's a 3 hex radius. You're in strategic mode, 1, 2, 3. Attacking, and that's where the full attacks like this demonstrate the full power of this unit. It is it is, I would say, probably the most amazing unit of the medieval era. Now imagine this barbarian camp as a city. Having this unit here as a spotter, for example, to clear the path to make sure I can see all the 3 tiles, and then having a couple of longbowmen, more than 2 obviously, to take down a city. And here we have mobile artillery, as I've stated before. So let's move down to the final English unique unit, the Ship of the Line.
The waves are always on the side of the ablest navigators.
So upon researching navigation, you'll unlock the English unique unit, the Ship of the Line. The Ship of the Line replaces the frigate, and like a normal frigate, it does require iron. However, the Ship of the Line, in every possible aspect, is superior to the frigate. Let's break this down for a little bit. And here I am, 2 galleasses which are ready to be upgraded to Ships of the Line. Oh yeah, 3 decks of guns. That's how we roll. So compared to the frigate, the Ship of the Line has 30 combat strength compared to the frigate's 25, 35 range damage compared to 28, and although having the same base movement of 5, that's not counting in the Sun Never Sets special ability England has, which means the Ship of the Line had 7 movement over the regular frigate's 5, and this is not counting any naval wonders such as the Great Lighthouse or the opener for exploration that will add to this movement benefit. So in every single way, the Ship of the Line is superior and is designed for naval domination. So to summarise the English civilization as a whole, it would be develop a naval strategy and you will absolutely dominate. Britannia will rule the waves. Their special ability is designed, A, so that you can absolutely rule the waves. Your units will be able to be faster, your exploration units will be able to cover more hexes, and that also includes things like fishing boats, which will have a movement of 6 instead of 4, and even your transports, which early game originally have a movement of 2, with England you have a movement of 4. Now, this whole strategy overall is designed in a military manner, and overall England is a domination civilization. They go best with a domination strategy. You can do a more passive strategy and special ability can be used for exploration matters, and your Sun Never Sets does give you a good advantage in founding the World Congress first. However, it would be a waste just to use the special ability on exploration alone. Having this ability, the Sun Never Sets, means you can A, attack and then get out very quickly without losing said unit, getting it back to friendly territory into your city so it can heal faster. The unique unit, the Longbowman, is essentially a medieval howitzer. When it comes out in the medieval era, it is absolutely fantastic. It has the same strength as a crossbowman, but through continual battle, it will eventually upgrade to logistics, meaning it'll have 2 attacks per turn, which absolutely is fantastic for this unit. I would, however, use this unit A, for your land battles, for your land campaigns, which of course you are going for since you are doing a domination strategy, but then sort of more using it for more of a garrison army, putting in your cities, which would come in quite nicely in the honour policy tree with military caste, where, of course, as you can read, each city with a garrison increases your happiness and culture. So using your Longbowmen just to fulfill that policy tenet, while your naval units go out and dominate the world. And finally, the Ship of the Line is your absolute key to naval domination. This period is marked by 3 types of naval units, obviously. The frigate, the privateer, and the caravel. Caravels are pretty much useless. Well, they're not useless, but they're not exactly going to be making up the backbone of your naval fleets. Mainly, they're going to be there for founding the World Congress and exploring. Where's the caravel gone? There he is there. Hello. There he is there. And that's what their purpose will be. Mainly, in combat, they will withdraw a lot, but your main backbone will be, of course, the ships of the line, which are, of course, think of them as your naval artillery. That's what a frigate is, after all. Naval artillery. And that is the key to getting cities, of course, and you'll be able to do it much more efficiently than any other civ in the game, as well as that nice movement bonus is that special ability gives you. When playing against the Ship of the Line, I have to remember that treat them with respect. Same as the Longbowmen. You must treat both of England's unique units with a lot of respect. The key to countering them is A, against the Ship of the Line, you just got to wear them down. Treat them with respect. Once you get one, the best thing to do is have a privateer and capture it. There's nothing like using the strong Ship of the Line against your enemy, a taste of their own medicine, so to say. To counter the Longbowmen, a fast mounted unit is probably the way to go here. That said, that unit during the medieval period would of course be the knight. The trick is to get into their face, knowing where they are, of course, because 3 hexes away, most units only have a tile sight radius of 2. Getting in their face, attacking, and getting out as fast as possible. The real problem here with that strategy is that you probably won't be able to get in and out without having the Longbowmen attack you. And I mean attack as in it attacking first, not you attacking it and then it's doing its retaliation thing. Anyway. So in terms of social policies for England, going into that, a general domination strategy is generally recommended. Similar to what I did with Germany, honour is a great policy to have, especially, and that will really sort of start to buff up your Longbowmen. And of course the gold cost of upgrading from professional armies is absolutely fantastic. And of course you are building a lot of barracks, armories and so on, so that policy goes in quite nicely. A lot of things at honour will be good for you. The next policy that is really essential for England, or rather it will really benefit you, is exploration. Having a majority of your time coastal bias, maritime infrastructure is perfect for you, merchant navy, treasure fleets, navigation school, naval tradition, it's all an absolutely fantastic bonus. And the finisher is not great, as you shouldn't really be worrying too much about antiquity sites, but you should be alright. And the Great Admirals of Faith is nice, but you should have plenty of great admirals through combat. So That's not probably the greatest part of exploration, and the best side, of course, is maritime infrastructure, merchant navy, and navigation school and naval tradition. Treasure fleets is not essential, but it is just a quite nice policy, and the finisher is not really what you're after, but you'll take it anyway. In terms of ideology, autocracy is completely the way to go here, and it absolutely suits England's strategy. It'll just get the best out of all of your units overall. And while you should probably mix and match a bit more, necessarily probably veering away from autocracies, more land focused things, and more focusing on naval first, then land. When playing against England, England will of course try to build up a very large fleet. It's quite best coding of their AI tenants, and you will probably see wolf packs, so to speak, of ships of the line floating around, and they are absolutely something to be feared. England is rather cordial in their manner to diplomacy, and to get an alliance with them, you will probably have to try and work hard with them. Elizabeth isn't the most backstabbiest of leaders, but you should still be very sort of suspicious of her. She is somewhat cunning, but she is not overly too aggressive. I say that varyingly. She can be aggressive, but not as much as Bismarck from last week. The final thing I will mention is the usage of wonders such as the Great Lighthouse. As you are aware, or as you may not be aware, when building the Great Lighthouse, all your naval units will have an extra bit of movement, or your naval combat units, which means more movement. Now, it's not essential for you to build this wonder. However, makes it very nice, and rather, instead of complimenting you, you're more defending your advantage from that sun never sets gives you. And it can really sort of if you're playing as the Ottomans, for example, who have a very nice naval special ability, it will start to even put the odds a bit more onto their side, and it will give them the ability to sort of semi-catch up to England's sun never sets. Won't of course get equal to them, but it will start to even a bit more the playing field. As England, building the Great Lighthouse will, as well, you should be going down that upper tech tree early on for set to compass and then to navigation, of course. It will be more or less to defend your naval advantage, which is always quite nice. And eventually, with the Great Lighthouse, exploration and sun never sets, you'll get 8 movement on a caravel, which is an absolute exploration killer. So, there you go, the results see to themselves. So, there's my guide overall to the English civilization. Last thing I will leave you with is, of course, use your iron for the ships of the line. Don't worry about long swordsmen. That iron is essential for your naval dominance. So, thanks for watching this Civilization 5 guide. Next week, I will do a specific civilization. I will give you some hints. Came out in the 1066 scenario pack, or was it? 1066 scenario pack. And tune in next time. See if you can guess it. That's me, Woolf. See you later.